This is Reset. I'm Sasha-Ann Simons. Don't Rain on My Parade from the 1964 musical Funny Girl. But no, that is not Barbra Streisand. It's the Voices of Hope Community Chorus. The singers, more than 60 of them, are breast cancer survivors or men and women whose lives have been touched by the disease. They've got 2 shows this weekend celebrating American musical icons like Cole Porter, George Gershwin, Stevie Wonder, and more. Now, here to tell us more about the group, its unique mission, and their upcoming concerts is Voices of Hope Artistic Director Kevin Kelly. Hey, Kevin, welcome to Reset.
Hi, thanks for having us on.
And also on the line with us is June Anthony, longtime member and breast cancer survivor. Hi, June. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
I will start with you, Kevin. Tell us how Voices of Hope came together.
Oh, my goodness, that's a story. Well, I have to back up about 18 years to another organization that was called the Sing to Live Community Chorus.
Okay.
All of us virtually were in that chorus, and I was the artistic director as of 2021. And that group decided to fold May of 2023. And the singers and I and our pianist decided we're not going to have that happen.
Yeah, we're not done.
And we didn't. And we started a new chorus, which is, again, it's same conductor, same pianist, same singers, new name, Voices of Hope Community Chorus. And we've been
I
around
love it.
a little about a year now. A little more
So
than a year.
where did that focus on breast cancer survivors come from?
Well, that began with the founder of the Sing to Live chorus. Her name is Melinda, I'm blanking, Melinda Harris, sorry. And she was a breast cancer survivor, and she had this idea to start a chorus. I'm not sure where it came from exactly. And so she drew together survivors, as you said at the outset, friends of survivors, friends of people who did not survive,
Yeah.
Men and women, and formed a 70-voice chorus eventually, and we're about 62 right now.
Wow. June, let's bring you in here. I'm curious why you wanted to continue the work of Sing to Live. Why was it important to you?
When the email first came out that Sing to Live was not going to exist anymore, it was devastating to me as well as to, I think, everyone in the group. And all of a sudden, a steering committee was formed and a board and other committees, and people got to work to keep it going. And it was really remarkable. But beyond that, people always say this club is a company, or this company is a family. This club is a family. This neighborhood is a family. This team is a family. But this group truly is. And being immersed in it as I am, I've never seen such wonderful support and genuine, sincere caring that these members all have for each other. And I think that was the biggest part of it. In addition to making music and using voices and, the wonder and joy of music through expressing your feelings and everything. But it was more than that. It was the fact that we were just it was so important for us to stay together. That cohesiveness is so rare to find.
So tell me more about how long you have been with Voices of Hope and how you got involved.
I've been with it for several years, not at the very beginning, but in the early years. I'm a survivor, and a very dear friend of mine was in the group, and he said, I know this organization that you might be interested in. And I said, what is it? And he told me about it and the mission of it. And our mission is not only to support each other, but we also donate some of our profits from our ticket sales to organizations that support people suffering with breast cancer from diagnosis right up to their recovery. And as soon as I joined and began singing, I knew it was a place that felt like home.
Kevin, tell us your connection to this disease.
My wife is a survivor. 4 years now since her surgery, just a little bit over. And she just had a mammogram a couple weeks ago. And it was fine, so that's great. She's doing very well. And it was sort of circumstantial when I saw the ad for this artistic director job. This had just happened. Really, she had just gotten through it. And I thought, well, it sounds like a great connection for me already.
Did you have a singing background?
Oh, yeah. No, I've got I sang for, when I used to live in Chicago beforehand, long story. I sang in a lot of groups around, and I have a master's degree in choral conducting as well as orchestral
Nice.
conducting.
Oh, so this was just waiting for you, this
was
position.
waiting for me, yeah.
Yeah. It had to be tough navigating those years with your wife.
Oh, very.
Tell me more about it from your perspective.
Well, it was difficult to watch her go through it, but she's a very brave woman, and had a wonderful attitude towards, throughout the whole process of surgery and chemotherapy and radiation, and she had the whole works. And really, it's as much about attitude. My job was to support her in every way that I possibly could. I hope that she feels that I did. She's listening, so she could chime in from the other end.
I'm sure she
Yeah.
does. So as you talked about, you joined Sing to Live, and then when that folded, you then turned to Voices of Hope. You've got all this experience, working with other choruses. What do you think it is that makes this particular group special? I heard June, and what stuck with me about June's conversation there is about the family aspect of things.
The family is an important part. I think it's the sort of family that admits other people as well. I've been involved with groups where they call themselves family and weren't necessarily that welcoming. This group is extremely welcoming to new people, and whatever your association is to the disease of breast cancer is important, and it is one of the elements that holds us together. The single element, I suppose, but also the love of music. And ultimately, the love of each other. I mean, these people have become so close, and I've heard many of them say that the troubles that they may have during the week go away when we come together on Thursday nights.
That's lovely.
For rehearsals.
So it's been about a year and a half since Voices of Hope came together. This weekend, though, is your third time putting on a pair of concerts as a group. So you've got a fall and spring concert in Glenview and Oak Park. June, how was the last performance in the spring?
The last performance in the spring was amazing. When this group is together and we are performing, it's electrical, it's exciting. The music is Kevin comes up with some wonderful selections, and what's amazing about that is, as a conductor, Kevin says, "Send me some ideas for things that you would like to perform." So we send in some suggestions to him, and he finds good arrangements for these things. He picks some, he doesn't pick some. So we feel a sort of ownership in the music as well.
That's great.
Which is very important, and it's just wonderful. The final selection that we do, we surround the audience, and the selection is entitled "Why We Sing," and it's a song of hope and support for each other, and the audience is on their feet and there's not a dry eye in the house.
Oh, I love that. Well, let's hear an example of that. This is the choir performing 42nd Street from the Broadway musical of the same name. Amazing. So the theme of the spring concerts was "And the Oscar Goes to Great Songs from the Movies." What's the focus of the upcoming shows, Kevin?
Well, the concert that we are about to give this weekend is called The Great Ones, a celebration of American songwriting. And you mentioned some of the songwriters that will be representing.
Yes, so Stevie Wonder, Cole Porter, right? George Gershwin.
Bob Dylan. We have the Indigo Girls. We have the High Women.
Ooh, no pressure.
No pressure. One Republic is represented as well. We tried to cover as much of the gamut from the Great American Songbook years, before 1950, through as close to the present as I could find.
How do you even narrow down the list?
Well, I actually have in my hand right now a bunch of songwriters that were listed in Rolling Stone's top 50 American songwriters. So I looked at that. I looked at a couple of others online that I found. Bob Dylan, by the way, was the number one pick of everybody in all those lists.
It was a consensus.
Yeah. Whereas the number one pick of our singers, as they were recommending people and songs to me, were in this order: Carole King and Paul Simon.
Mm. If you're just tuning in, this is Reset. I'm Sasha-Ann Simons, and we're learning more about the Voices of Hope Community Chorus. And in studio, we've got artistic director Kevin Kelly and choir member June Anthony is on the line with us. June, you're a breast cancer survivor in a choir of people whose lives have been touched by breast cancer. Talk about what the energy is like on your end, among fellow chorus members.
Well, it's kind of hard to describe. When one is first diagnosed and you hear that word, it's pretty devastating. I had 2 young sons at the time, and when I first entered into the chorus, everyone was so welcoming and so supportive, and you find out that everybody has a story to share. Everyone has something that they have to say about themselves regarding this illness and what they went through, or a family member and how they helped them, or what kind of support they gave them. And it was just all encompassing and very, very positive. And I knew that this was a group I wanted to be with.
I understand Voices of Hope does work outside the chorus, June, to support breast cancer survivors. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is what I mentioned before a little bit. We have a committee headed by one of our members, a wonderful gentleman named Gary Page, who did a lot of research on an organization that we could donate to some of our proceeds from our ticket sales. And there were several of them because many of the members of our group, through themselves as survivors or family members, had various organizations that they could suggest to us. So Gary got busy and he did some research and he interviewed various organizations, and we came up with several possibilities and finally settled on one called Alas Wings, ALAS Wings, and they support women in the Chicago area, quite a bit of the Latina population, with everything from help with understanding their diagnosis to yoga classes to all kinds of different things that they assist with. And you don't realize how important that support is until you have lived through it. I know I was in the Joliet area and I had wonderful support groups.
Yeah.
Just to talk to other people who have had that problem, just to talk to other family members who've lived through it, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
So, Kevin, if anyone listening right now is interested in getting involved, where should they go?
Well, I think probably the easiest thing is to send them to our website.
Yeah.
And there's information about, of course, the concerts this weekend.
What's your website?
Voice, I think it's, you better check me on this.
I'll check you.
voicesofhopecc.org.
All right, I'll double check for you.
I'm looking.
And now, do folks have to audition, or
no?
Do they have to be singers to join?
Well, we prefer that they've already been singing because, of course, we want the best singers we can find. But no, there's no audition. There's what I call a voice check. Everybody has to be heard by me once they decide to join.
Okay.
But that's just so I know what's the range, which part do they most appropriately belong in, how strong a singer are they, should I put them with somebody else?
Yeah,
and so
makes sense.
Yeah.
And you were right about that website. It is voicesofhopecc.org.
Yes.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, you've got 2 concerts coming up this weekend. Anything else that you can tease for this weekend's performance that folks can expect?
I mean, all I could do is drop a bunch more names of singer-songwriters and songs Loves Me Like a Rock of Paul Simon, And So It Goes of Billy Joel, Blowin' in the Wind of Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Diane Warren, my goodness, the Beatles. I'm sorry, not the Beatles. They're not American. The Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys, yeah. So Saturday, November 9th at 7:30 at Glenview Community Church. Sunday, November 10th at 4 p.m. at Pilgrim Congregational Church in Oak Park. Tickets start at $20, and you can get your tickets at the door. Now, last year, the chorus performed during a Chicago Bears game.
Yes.
During National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What other hopes do you have for the choir?
Well, that's a conversation that I need to have with the chorus and with the board, but we've talked about it a little bit. For myself, I'm always trying to improve the quality of the chorus. All the singers we have to sing better and better. I personally would love for us to sing an additional concert every weekend, either on the same weekend or maybe a subsequent weekend.
That might be cool.
We recently switched our rehearsal location. That's a wonderful possible performance
Well,
venue.
let's hear what June thinks.
Sure.
June, what are your hopes for the choir?
I would love to see an additional concert given. And as Kevin just mentioned, our rehearsal space now is a lovely venue for doing that. I would also like to see the chorus grow. We have a large number already, but it would be nice to see even more. The other place also, if people are interested, in addition to the website, they can check out our Facebook page.
Nice.
If they happen to be on looking, Facebook members or whatever, we have a Facebook page with information on it.
Great.
But growth in numbers, growth in opportunities. Kevin, I was not available when the performance happened at WGN. Could you talk about that a little bit?
If we have a moment.
We've got just a second here.
We have a second. I'm going to say instead, to be clear, that we do welcome men to the chorus.
Yes, that's a very important note. I'm glad you got that in there. We'll have to leave it there. We've been talking to Voices of Hope Community Chorus Artistic Director Kevin Kelly and choir member and president of the chorus's board of directors, June Anthony. Now, you can see the group performance this Saturday at Glenview Community Church, Sunday at the Pilgrim Congregational Church in Oak Park, and we'll go out on one more song. This is the chorus singing Greg Gilpin's Why We Sing.